So, did you have a chance to take a look at the startups presented at Startup Alley?
I did.
And what do you think of them?
A lot of interesting things. I've looked at startups in many places in the world, in Asia, in the US, and also now in Ukraine. And a lot of variety and a lot of very energetic people developing new ideas.
Yeah. So your appointment as the CEO of Gelastic was, well, quite surprising for the industry, I guess. And what were the first KPIs, first goals set before you?
Right, sure. So actually I'm setting the KPIs, and what we're looking for is we're going to do extensive growth of our platform into the market. And so measuring the expansion of our product into a large number of servers and data centers, and accelerate the growth and distribution of the product.
It was also said, I remember, I think in the press release about your appointment, that you are going to drive the company into the enterprise market. Can you elaborate on this a little bit?
We will be relaunching the company in terms of a clearer and broader, much larger marketing vision of the company. That's something that will occur in the coming weeks.
And you also mentioned just 5 minutes before that you have worked in many companies all over the world. What do you see as your your strengths, your biggest strengths?
Great, yeah. So I think when you're leading a company, especially a fast-moving startup or a company that's doing great innovation, you always have to look at the market that you're going into and understand that market very well. You also have to understand how technology can be applied to that market to create immense value. And then the rest of it is actually very much about team. It's how do you hire the right team and then kind of manage them so that they can fulfill that vision that you set for the company. And so there's really 3 things that I focus on with the company, and those are the 3 things.
So you will be directly doing the hiring, at least at the top level, like more or less?
Yes. So we will be setting the vision of what we need to do. That's the market that we're going to go after. Help guide the technology development and direction, and then just make sure we have the right community, the right class of employees, and the right class of people as we grow the culture of the company to grow into a leading technology innovator. As you mentioned, I've been in other companies. I started my career at IBM, left IBM in '99 and started a company doing Java and solutions in the Java space, security in Java in '99. Successfully raised money for the company, exited very successfully in May of '01. I did a second company, actually with XML, XSLT in the SOA space. We sold that company to Intel in 2005. I was then involved in a public company turnaround in '08, '09, and I've actually helped about 30 different companies, startups, and sometimes public companies gain profitability, raise money, or even exit over the last few years.
Are there already any talks or plans? Excuse me. Any talks or plans about exit in Gelastic?
No, absolutely not. We've got a much bigger market that we can go after and grow, and so the impact to the market will be great. The value proposition that the company offers and will be more clear after we reposition and relaunch the company. We'll make that very clear in the marketplace.
Are there any regions in the world that are most interesting for Gelastic and its development?
We are interested in basically data centers and high use cases. And so the 2 regions that we're not particularly interested in actually are Antarctica and Arctic. Everything else, we have data servers, we have lots of population and lots of uses of the web.
Okay, and last question for you, what is more interesting, and what are actually the biggest differences between running your own company, which you did 10-15 years ago, and being just a CEO in the company founded by someone else?
I think in both cases, even as you come in as an employee, whether you're coming in as a CEO or you're coming in as another employee, the mission, the vision of the company has to be such that every person in that company sees it as their company. It's their vision. They've taken on that vision of what we need to do and how we're going to get there, and everybody takes that on and it's their own identity. And that's the real value of a startup, is you can create a vision for a company and a mission statement for that company where everybody can be fully committed to it. It's not a job, it's what you want to do.